Well, hello, welcome to Money with Mark Albert. So glad you're with me today. Today I have a special guest. He's a realtor, real estate guy, really a fantastic guy. I've got to know him because we've serviced clients together. And Joey Walters, he's going to help us understand what's been going on in the Toronto real estate market, the greater Toronto area, kind of year to date in the past, what's going on in the present, current market, and maybe some thoughts for the future. So, just Joey, good to have you with me today.
Yeah, Mark, welcome. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I am super excited to be on the show, and I can't wait to, answer the questions and talk to the people about what's been going on, in the last 9 months in this crazy market that we have in the pandemic that we're living in.
Absolutely. Of course, as you know, I do mortgages, right? But you and I know how important this topic is of what's going on in the real estate market. And a lot of people who come to my channel, they're interested in this type of stuff. So I'm glad
Yeah.
you could come with your expertise and help us out here. But before we get into the market, this is your first time on my channel. Not new to me, but new to the people watching. So why don't you help us understand, who is Joey, right? Who is Joey?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so a little bit about me. Before I became a realtor, I was in business in industry for over 20 years.
Yeah.
I was in operations and in HR, and I managed a lot of our commercial real estate as well as merger acquisitions and so forth. And then I transitioned into being a realtor. But, a little bit about me. I'm a dad. I have two kids. I have a son who's 12 and a daughter who's 11. And, I'm very passionate about helping people. That's one of the reasons why I became a realtor, and using my business and my past experiences and my financial savvy to really, help people. That's my passion. Like my slogan is, your success is my passion when it comes to real estate.
I see that slogan every now and then. That's cool.
Yes. And, other things I'm passionate about, obviously, is family, constantly learning. Personal growth is something for me. My morning routine is focused all around that and starting my day. And, sports like golf and, obviously a little bit about me. I played competitive hockey growing up. That's a little bit about me. So hopefully people get to know me a little bit better. But if you follow me on social media, or you'll see I talk a lot about myself and what's been going on in the market, and some of the specialties that I work in my niches across the GTA.
Yeah, and then we're going to get into the market here in a bit, but just so that everyone watching knows, I'm going to have Joey's contact information below, his social media links. He's going to provide that to me. So if you want to reach out to him, connect with him, follow him, whatever you want, he's going to be available and be happy to talk to him. And I'm glad you mentioned hockey. I played hockey a bit when I was young, but it sounds like you were like a lot better than I ever was. And then as soon as you said hockey, I thought of Don Cherry. He says the great Canadian sport. That's my mindset went into the pride of being a Canadian, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so let's get into it, Joey. Help us understand the real estate market, Greater Toronto Area. Take us through the year. And then share what you feel that would be important for us to understand. Appreciate your help with that.
Yeah, so 2020, new decade. People had these goals. New Year's resolutions. We're heading into a new decade, and the real estate market took off right at the beginning of January. January, February, and halfway through March. Real estate market became a seller's market. Inventory was down, and more so during that time. Usually, you see homes move that quickly in a spring or a early summer market or into a fall market, but it really took off. And it had really to do with the buyer demand and the inventory being low. Then obviously we hit into uncharted territories. This COVID thing that's really, played a big role in a lot of people's lives. And it's been a very unique and special time, as I call it. And what was really interesting is that even though it hit right in the middle of March and things slowed down, we went into a lockdown. I think it was March the 17th. I was watching the market on a weekly basis in York region. And so volume didn't slow down until April. So the momentum of that market, because people had bought and sold, they still had to go and buy and sell, towards that. And then it slowed down. But when I say slow down, I mean slow down in a sales volume. So April, May into mid to June, homes were still selling, and they were still selling, under 1.5 million, close to 99% of ask. So there were still people buying at that time. It's just the sales volumes were down. However, when we hit into, mid to late June into July and August, now it's carried forth into September, we've gone into a crazy market. So there's a few reasons for that. Number one, inventory is down.
Okay.
Number two, people being comfortable to live, with this virus, right? They didn't lose their jobs. We adapt as humans. But most importantly, interest rates are down, but the spring market that we were supposed to have in April and May got pushed off into, late June, July into August. Yeah. And so, one data point I can give people is like, if you just look in York region in August, year over year, 600 more homes sold this August in all of York region than they did in, 2019. Wow. And so you factor in the fact that we're in a pandemic, we've gone through these stages. Now they've pulled back, some of these restrictions, and, people are blown why this happened. And it has to do with, the inventory and the demand. We still have people coming to, like, people don't believe this, but we have people coming to the country. I still have people reaching out to me on LinkedIn and social media and saying, I'm coming to, Canada in the next few months, can you help me find a home? Yeah. And so I know it's not in the greatest numbers as it was before, but people are still coming here. Right. And then you factor in that, this, like, interest rates are at an all-time low. That's right. Right. Yeah. And it's still carried on to September. Like I pulled some numbers in both York region and Toronto. Yeah. And if you look at York region up until Sunday had 262 more homes sold this September versus last September. Wow. Which is 26% increase. Yeah. Toronto is about 150 homes down versus last year. Okay. But I think some of that has to do with the condo market. The condo market was really hot. Now, condos are still selling. It's not as quickly. And it's because people, some of the things are trending is people look at, the size of where they want to be. Yeah. And so, with that, they're looking to expand and they're looking to, grow. And so, one of the areas I specialize in is, upsizing or investing. Yeah. These are things that, I've been speaking to people about, the trends of, wanting a bigger backyard or having a home office because they're working from home. Yeah. They have an addition to the family coming. They want to move in with family. There's a lot of reasons why people are looking at that, but still the market is very, very healthy. Yeah. Inventory across the GTA in most parts are under 2 months. Yeah. So which means that we're still in a seller's market in most cases. Yeah. But, I also want to say it also depends on the price point, right? Like homes under 1.5 million, are still, unique homes that people, not everybody can afford those homes, but under 1.5 million, if your home's priced right, it's a good location, it's move-in ready, homes are going very, very quickly. So. And then, so like as people look to the future, no one knows the future, right? There's people who speculate and they assume things. Do you have a general sense of what we can anticipate this fall and into the new year at all, or? Yeah, so it's one of the reasons why I ran the numbers in September. I thought maybe we might see a little bit of a slowdown because less homes would be coming on the market and so forth, but I haven't seen it. And, once again, with interest rates being low, if there's demand there, there might be a slowdown. Based on many factors. I know a lot of people are talking about these deferrals, right? So I actually want to talk about that. I know if people have taken a 3-month deferral, not because they needed it. There was a lot of uncertainty at that time. They didn't know they didn't have their jobs. And so they took the deferral, and some people took this deferral because they didn't want to pay their mortgage and they're trying to save up a little bit of money, but they were also paying down some of their higher debt items that they had.
Yeah.
Right. So not everybody had a 6-month deferral.
Yeah.
And then since that, I've spoken to you and, other financial people and experts out there. And, the banks and the financial institutions want to work with people. They don't want, people to put their home up for sale if they don't have to. And so they're looking at, refinancing, payment plans on how they can help out people, because the banks don't want to own homes. Because if they did, they would.
Right.
They want to have
like
more
business, right?
Yeah, that's not
right.
their business, right? So, a lot of people think that there's going to be an influx of homes. That could happen. I haven't seen it yet. I always tell people, the best information is what I have now. But I do believe even if these homes go up for sale, there's enough demand out there that people will purchase these homes. And so, we might see a little bit of a cooling off from a sales volume perspective, but I don't see it, dropping down, unless we get into another crazy second or maybe third wave. And, but things are so, they're never fluid. Like, it's not cut and dry. It's not black and white. If somebody would have told me at the beginning of this year that, real estate market would take off, and then we would go into a pandemic, and then sales volume would slow down, and then prices would be up anywhere between 12 to 70% year over year.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that? We were anticipating a 5 to 7% across the GTA based on all the financial information that we got. We're in a pandemic where people have lost their lives, people have, lost their jobs.
Yeah.
And, it's very hard to predict. I mean, there's obviously things that we can look at from economic standpoint that we need to look at, but as long as there's demand and supply, that's what's really driving the market. It was actually crazy. I even had something, I've been doing a lot of research on this, and I hopefully never have to get to but negative interest rates. I've been doing a lot of research on it. And how I hope we never get there, because it's really going to cause a bubble, I believe. But that could be a topic for another time. So.
Yeah, a good topic for another time. I know there's pressure in Europe to maybe thinking about doing that. It would first go in Europe before it ever came to the U.S. But right now, I don't see it right now. I know the Bank of Canada, they're anticipating just holding their rate for the next 3 years, probably around there, based on their rate update or their interest rate announcements, the last few.
Mm-hmm.
Your insight's been really helpful here, Joey. And before we go, can you just give us help those who are listening, who are contemplating, should I buy or should I sell?
Mm-hmm.
Any advice you have for either a potential buyer or potential seller?
Yeah, so I have some general advice for both, and then I'll go into some specifics. So whether you're buying or selling, okay, one of the first things I need to do is I do, and I think you should do, is really understand why you want to do those things. So what's your motivation? What's your unique why of you're doing it? What are your current pain points? And you really need to understand that. So, especially if you're looking to sell right now, why are you looking to sell? Are you looking to downsize? Are you looking to upsize because, like I said, you have an additions to your family, you want more space in your backyard, you want a pool, you want a home office, you need a bigger kitchen, because, our homes really drive our environment. And so, not having that extra bathroom in the morning could be very chaotic for some families, even though people are not going in and out of work, right? And so now the fact that people work at, you need to divide your space and have that, right? And then you have some people looking to downsize, right? And so, what are the key to critical, factors with that? I talk to a lot of people that are, older and have their homes paid off. And I always tell them, like, make an investment, downsize, take some money, live your life. Don't have bricks for breakfast. The fact that you own your house, right? It might be too big for you, right? So, enjoy your life while you're still here. Don't wait till you're not here, right? So, that's one thing for on the selling side. But if you're looking to sell right now, I think one of the biggest things that I've been speaking to people about is if you have to make a purchase, we might have to make that purchase first because it's such a competitive market. You know, a lot of listings are coming in, you know, holding offers, and by that, you know, you might have to buy first because, you know, we want to time the sale and the buy of your home, right?
Yeah, some people don't like that, but yeah, I understand what you're saying there. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something to consider. And you know, with my Unlock the Future method, I sit down and I analyze all these things. So we talk about this so that we understand what our game plan is, so that way we can go out there and execute it, right? And it's about being upfront and honest and really understanding. You know, for me, it's really about connecting with people and understanding how I can solve the issues that they have, and bring solutions towards that, so we can make everybody happy, and we have that customer experience for a long term, right? On the buying side, it is competitive right now, and
Yeah.
so, you know, the one thing I talk to people is like, you know, it amazes me still, a lot of people, they want to go out and see homes, they haven't been pre-approved. You guys, you have to be pre-approved. You need to be working with a mortgage broker, a financial institution. You need to understand that, and you need to understand, you know, what costs go along with, you know, purchasing a home, whether it be an inspection, legal fees, you know, closing costs like land transfer tax is very, very important. I have investors that, you know, want to invest in Toronto, and I'm like, you know, you can spend a little bit more money and invest in Vaughan or somewhere in York region, and you don't have to pay that extra land transfer tax, the municipal land transfer tax. And you can put that into the house or part of the closing costs, because you're never going to get that money back. That's just going to the government. So you got to really look at things, and everybody's situation is unique. And that's why, you know, I went down and I've really designed, you know, a process to really understand that, you know, with people, because if not, then we're going to get into a very stressful, emotional situation if we don't have this game plan. So that's my advice, is really sit down, make sure you have professionals around you like Mark and myself, you know, that have, you know, other people like lawyers, you know, at our disposal, and inspectors and stagers and videographers and all the stuff that we bring to the table, because we connect ourselves with professionals. I think it's very important to, you know, look at that. So.
Well, I appreciate Joey, and that's a great point. Some of the things you said there, because people need to think through these. This is, for the most part, most people they're making the biggest purchase of their life, right?
Exactly.
And as we know, buying is first emotional. They make emotional decisions, they haven't thought it through. They think it through after, and then it's like, oh, right, they may not have made the best decision. I appreciate not all real estate agents do what you do, so that's good to know. It's great to have you on our channel, Joey. And I got to tell you, this is not the last time you'll be on my channel, okay?
Okay. Thanks, Mark.
So thanks for your advice. Again, for all those listening, thanks for being with us. Joey's information will be available in the notes and comments below for any of you who want to reach out to him for further discussion. So great to see you, Joey, and be with us. And we will talk to you later, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. See ya.
Bye.